will bring to this neighborhood a non-stop talk alternative. A constant barrage of eye-opening conspiracies and ad-libbed innuendo. Too bad there's only 24 hours in a day. Or is there? Give me liberty or give me death, but only the kind of liberty you find in a controlled, well-regulated society. Don't kill people. The government does.
Welcome back, guys. Although it's only 4 of us, doubt we're going to get the dizzy totals of 21 as we did in the previous live show, but that was very, very unfortunate that in mid-roll the battery died on the other phone, and I was actually processing a video, the director's cut of Together in Electric Dreams at the same time, so that phone was using a lot of battery power, and again it's sort of an attempt to edit that presentation to be able to upload it so it can be watched in its entirety without censorship issues. But we were in the midst of things. We were having a bit of a good dialogue when boom, we got shut down there because of the battery, and I should have had the power source plugged in. Schoolboy error on my part, but we're having a good actually having a very good sort of live show, even though it was a little bit thrown together and discombobulated. It's a little good. It's been a good long time since we have had a lot of people watching live and throwing together some good theories and conversation going on in the chat. So if or not we'll actually continue with this much longer, Killer, I don't know. As I said, we've only got 4 folks watching now. I did say in the chat on the last stream before I went and set up again that we would be up and running in about 10 minutes. So if or not, that's weird, the phone just moved on its own. Did you see that? Very weird. Yeah, it was a different way of taking a break, but it was a shame to sort of end the show in its prime, and maybe sometimes it's almost better to leave them wanting more. I realise why it's moving now. It's because I've got the cable in and I'm a little bit farther away. Let's get closer, and it's shaking the camera. That's why I figured it out. It's not a ghost or a poltergeist or anything like that. Hey, Killer, not Killer, Kali Ninja, thank you. It was, we're holding a good strong. We were, like, I haven't had that for a long time here at the thrift store. Like I said, a couple of weeks back, I did do a live show to 2 people. Didn't do very much for the esteem, I can say that, or the ego, but it was a shame when we do got a good audience that it got cut short and cut before its prime. So I did say that we would try and get back up and running, although it is very unlikely that we will get everyone back. But again, if Truth Flicks is watching or can hear, thank you, brother, because he did bring, I'm guessing, quite a few of those people over, and it is always nice to have newcomers and a different sort of mindset, or you know, some different individuals coming and joining us here, because it kind of just mixes and changes things up a little bit. But as I said, we've only got 5 watching now, so I don't know if or not we will continue this for much longer, or if we will continue it at all. To be honest, I did lose a little bit of what I was talking about in the time since the stream shut down. I had to smoke, had to use the restroom again, and started rolling as we are now. But as I said, guys, it probably will be just come back up. Hey, there's Warfist. We are going to kind of... the Warfist has earned his Gusset Girl badge. Well done, well done. Something, as you guys who do follow along or have followed along here at the thrift store, that we always seem to get an influx of viewers when we say that we're about to shut the stream down. Should we try it? Okay, so we are going to wrap this up, guys, in about 5 minutes. And we're not really, but let's see if we get some Gusset Girls. Sorry to whisper if you didn't hear. I didn't want to trigger the algorithm. But yeah, thank you for finding us again, Warfist. We were on a little bit of a roll, although I did say I'd forgotten my sort of train of thought as we were shut off prematurely in that last stream. And this might just be a little bit of a trying to title what we were chatting about. My God, there is the ultimate Gusset Girl, Killer. We're going to wrap this up in a couple of minutes. We are going to wrap. Look at me, I've got a smile. It's the first time I've Elmel, darling, you made me smile. It's the first time I've done that in a little while. But the original Gusset Girl is back in the house. In the Gusset Girl's Warfist, if you don't understand what that's all about, is I kind of had a little theory that maybe there was a secret group of TSP viewers that kind of had a WhatsApp group, or maybe a Messenger or Discord chat room of their own, where they would kind of get together and take it in turns to turn up late at the thrift store live shows, because usually if people turned up late, I tended to go on like a extra 20 or 30 minutes to sort of let the latecomers enjoy a little bit of the live show. We don't want people kind of missing out on anything, and I think it become a little bit of a habit that they kind of con on, hey look, if we arrive late we get a little bit more TSP action. But that was when people actually wanted to watch TSP TV. It hasn't been the case recently. Don't know if that's due to algorithmic behavior, or the illusion was killed when I turned the camera around and showed you this ugly old boat race that you're gandering at now. We miss you all, Elmel, and we were live. It's the first live show I've done in a couple of weeks. Just before this, I put a live show up, live and alive, just to let you, you guys that were a little bit concerned about me, know that I am alive and alive still. Not really, Elmel. I'm not doing well. I don't want to be a little bitch and whine and groan. No, feel sorry for me. But I'm taking a beating emotionally, and depression, seasonal stuff, PTSD, everything right now is at the highest elevation that it's probably been ever. Life could be a lot better for us all. I know a little bit what we were talking about in the previous stream was how many of us are being affected under COVIDian times, and are the results of the effects that we, are these personally targeted towards us to bring our spirits down. Many people, I'm sorry, I'm still connected to the Does this sound any better? Can you still hear me? Let me know. I've unclipped the microphone. It is seasonal, and this is kind of what I'm dealing with, and I don't really, again, you can't hear me? Not better. Okay, let me plug it back in. Sorry about that. Not beta, but I deal with kind of anniversary anxiety, I guess, this time of year. Kind of like the end of October was the last time I can remember being happy in California. I remember spending Halloween with my loved ones and enjoying myself, and like a week or so later, I was incarcerated, and I never ever got to go home. So kind of this time of year really just reminds me very, very much of that time of year and what I went through during this time of year, and every year since that event. I kind of relive it a little bit. This year, not only that, I'm dealing with the fact that I lost my dad a couple of months ago. At the start of the pandemic, being service industry, I used to be a chef, as some of you know. Bars and restaurants, first thing they closed down. So sort of since March 16th, I've been out of work, had no income, lost my routine, lost my sort of perk of getting to eat for free. So now I've got no income coming in. I'm trying to feed myself. I'm trying to pay bills with nothing. I don't get the social interaction that's going on. All of that is gone. The comfort of being able to eat restaurant food every day, that's something that is greatly missed. I've noticed sort of a little bit of health issues, I guess, from living off of canned items. I mean, it's better than not eating, and I'm not complaining. This is what I teach you about prepping, that when you're prepping for emergencies, it's not exactly going to be the best of eating, but it's better than not eating. So I'm dealing with the anniversary sort of stuff of my incarceration and eventual deportation. I'm dealing with the seasonal effect. I hate the winter. I hate cold, rainy days. I'm dealing with the depression of my dad. I'm dealing with the loss of my job and the life that I sort of did have and the routine that I once did. And it's very much like being in limbo, and I'm not alone. A lot of people are struggling. I know, Elmel, you've got some shit going on. I'm pretty sure, Warfist, you've got some issues that maybe, of personal nature to you, that have given you a little bit of an extra kick in during the COVID time. And it's at the point where for me it's been hard to get out of bed each and every day for the last couple of weeks. And when I do get out of bed, it's like, fuck, I just want to go back to bed. But I do kind of soldier through. I do keep myself up for a few hours, even if it's just staring at the wall. Staying in bed all day does kind of, it's a defeatist, I think, unless, you are sort of unwell, unhealthy, disabled, or got some disabilities that prevent you from getting out of bed. Then if you can, you should. But it doesn't exactly make me want to face the day when there's nothing worth going outside for. I've got nowhere to go, nowhere to be. The best thing to do is stay inside, and a little bit like when you're in jail, if you can sleep away half your sentence, then that's not a bad thing. So I am trying to sleep away some of my sentence and trying to occupy my time or fill those times sort of watching TV shows and movies and stuff. Isolation, feeding, it does. And this is the thing, you kind of get stuck in your very, very own sort of little world and it almost is bad for you. It's a little bit like drugs and alcoholism, that, you know, it may be a little bit enjoyable when you start down that path in a, you know, recreational purposes become second fiddle to necessity and requirement. And depression, sympathy, it can be a little bit addictive. It can produce sort of dopamines and stuff. I hope 21's better, Killer. I'm not exactly resting out or holding any hopes that a minute past midnight on the 1st of January, everything is suddenly going to be hunky-dory. If anything, I'm kind of a little bit more fearful than what 2020 had to offer. And this is what I'm saying, Kali Ninja, that's a big chunk of money to be losing each and every month, and your quality of life unfortunately will, you know, struggle as a result of that. And due to my situation and lack of status here, I'm not entitled to anything from the government. You know, they were giving out $2,000 a month to people. I don't know if they still are or not, but I didn't used to earn that much sometimes when I was working full-time 50, 60 hours a week in the kitchen, because under the counter you often get minimum wage or a little bit less than. But the last job that I did have, you know, I actually enjoyed. I got treated decently and with respect by my employers and my co-workers. They paid me well, they fed me well, they gave me a tip out. They gave me, you know, I had once a week they'd give me a couple of beers if I wanted to, so I could have a drink on the house. And, you know, all of that is gone, and all I really have is these fucking lonely 4 dark walls in my YouTube channel. And it's sad is I almost feel responsible for the fact that the world's gone to shit, because if anyone remembers, around January time I did kind of start talking about, you know what, I kind of like doing YouTube, and I know I can't really do it full time, I can't make a real living off of this, but maybe I could do it as my part-time job. You know, I was making a decent wage at the restaurant at the time, and I thought to myself, maybe if I take a day out of my weekly schedule and only work 4 days a week, and maybe try and top up the difference of that from doing YouTube an extra day a week, and maybe putting a bit more time and effort into YouTube. Maybe I could lessen my days in the kitchen, do more time on YouTube, and still make a decent living. Boom, fucking 3 months later, the world goes to shit. My day job disappears. I have to rely on my sort of, I'm not saying this was a job, but it brought me a little bit of income, and the sort of money that I used to get is donations. Back then I used to put back into the channel. You know, I used to buy fucking rations, I used to buy stuff for the eBay EDC, and somehow I would either transfer what I had on my PayPal into sort of currency that I had from my wages, and use that to top up the pantry, which also brought you content. But now the income that I get via PayPal for my efforts on YouTube, that's what I'm making my living. That is my living, that is my income on at the moment, and I'm eternally grateful for each and every one of you that does put a couple of bucks in the tip jar for me, because without that, guys, I really would have been up shit creek quite a few months ago. And that does keep me topped up with a few essential fresh groceries. More importantly, it keeps me topped up with smokes and marijuana, which is something I do need. And I don't, you know, I'm saying that because I'm open, I'm not hiding it and like, oh, I'm buying my medication and I'm buying Bible books to read while I'm on. I buy smokes and weed. This is things that I need. I've got plenty of food still in the pantry, although it isn't exactly the most exciting. It's keeping me fed. What I wouldn't do for a fully stocked professional kitchen to make myself a meal from now. I look back at some of those sandwich shop videos, Al Mel. You remember those, when I used to flip the eggs so sexily? fuck me, I wouldn't kill for one of those sandwiches right now, but it makes me cry to think to myself that was something that I could eat each and every day if I wanted to for free, and now that's a luxury item for me. I haven't eaten a candy bar in a couple of weeks. I haven't had, fresh meat in months, and you make do. So there really isn't much in life that I've got that is enjoyable at the moment. There's nothing that's bringing any silver linings. And when you're in that situation, for me, it does feel very much like being in jail again, except for the fact that I can smoke and I do have the freedom to go out if I want to. But honest to God, like when it's miserable out, why would you want to? It's not enjoyable. You just go out and feel miserable. It's like, I'm miserable. I'm going to be miserable outside. Let's save effort and just stay in. But as I said, guys, this was really just sort of a little bit of an attempt to kind of wrap up and say thanks for watching. See if there was sort of any response to maybe some of the ramblings that sounded somewhat nonsensical in the previous stream. So I don't know. As I said, it was like, God, I've lost my train of thought. And this is what I'm struggling with on a daily basis. I'm sometimes in the middle of doing something and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Why did I come here? It's good to get a 10 watching. Double digits is always nice. And Cali Ninja's right. It's like, why bother? I've been working. I've got a couple of videos lined up. I do got something that I wanted to bring out a couple of weeks ago when that stupid rabbit was being fucking shared on social media. Remember? Copy and paste the rabbit, but change what it's holding. I seen that shit fucking everywhere, motherfucker. Watch the video. You see my news feed. That was what I saw that Saturday morning. I couldn't get away from the fucking rabbit. But I was going to do a little follow-up to that on Monarch and MK Ultra programming, because the white rabbit is a Monarch programming trigger, and it is a trigger to follow, and that's exactly what people did. They followed the command to copy and paste the fucking rabbit. Millions of people. If this doesn't fucking tell you, or is an evidence of what I've been telling you over these last weeks in regard to mimetic mind control, to regards of electromagnetic mind control, and the fact that your cell phone is your artificial handler that is fucking programming, that was it. Like, there is no two ways about it, that people didn't fucking wake up independently and like, hey, you know what, I'm gonna fucking make a little bunny rabbit out of the punctuation symbols in my phone. And do you know what would be great? If I asked people to change what is brilliant, I'm going to do that now. People didn't independently do that. If they did, then that is evidence of a fucking hive mind, right? If people all thought of that at exactly the same time on the same day, that is a hive mind. If people just saw it and copycatted it, boom, 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 in fucking hours, that saturated the internet. This, to me, is one of the most alarming things I've seen in recent weeks, because it just shows the lack of maybe not saying independent thought, but it just shows the human see, human do mentality. Ooh, share the bunny. Ooh, share the bunny. Ooh, share the bunny. People didn't think of that on their own. Somebody created that and planted it on your fucking social media, and it was a big experiment to see who would follow and who wouldn't. I was almost tempted to cut and paste it myself, in case that was something that the algorithm would decide, oh, if you copied and followed the bunny, you're going to live past COVIDian days. Ready, set, here we go, and we're back in gear. Is that encouraging, Killer? I think so. Maybe it is. But yeah, that's what I've been telling you guys, that I'm talking about this stuff. Nobody seems to be paying attention to it, and that in itself kind of gets a little bit frustrating. You know, I'm not holding a gun against anyone's head. I don't expect you to watch, share, or pass any of this on. The Matrix, yeah, that's right. She does got a rabbit tattoo. I haven't seen the fucking Matrix for like probably 20 years thinking about it, Warfist. But the rabbit hole, guys. Let's dive down the rabbit hole. Alice in Wonderland, the rabbit. God, if I was using this tripod, I could actually show you. I've got an article. It's called Butterflies and Rabbit Holes, and it's a little bit of a presentation. You know what? I'm going to go live tomorrow. I'm going to get in touch with Truth Flicks. He was desperate to come on the line. He did actually call me while I was off air setting up this second stream, but I've only got the one phone at the minute. Killer Kyle, I do got your computer working in the background. That has been a wonderful godsend to me, and I've actually got the article lined up on the computer, and I was thinking that maybe I could do that live, but possibly what I'm going to do is put together the presentation part. No one near us here. Welcome. But what I was going to do is put together a presentation of that Monarch programming presentation and do a little pre-recording segment that I can put into the live show. Then I can interact with you in chat while we watch together. But Monarch programming is also something that was very, very, very evident and featured in all of those 80s kids cartoons, the My Little Ponies, the Care Bears, the Rainbow Brights, the Wuzzles, the you name it. They're all very, very similar at the time, and all of that stuff was rich and ripe with Monarch programming, and something you might see a lot of recent times are kids, and they kind of got like those headbands or hats or even hoodies with the cat ears on the top. Well, the cat ears are a sex kitten trigger in Monarch programming, and I did want to put that presentation out like as soon as I could after I saw the white bunny, copy and paste it and change what it's holding, because it was so relevant. It's like, my God, look at it, people. Tell me this isn't your mind control happening right now. And like half of my friends list fucking bought that hook, line and sinker, and it's just one example. I mean, that's the biggest example, but mimetic behavior and the copycat behavior is what is killing society of its independent critical thinking right now. And anybody that does kind of offer some independent thought or maybe some critical thinking is maybe ostracized, ridiculed, or pariahed. And that's kind of a little bit how I've been feeling recently. Like, I've kind of been putting out videos and like, dang, electromagnetic mind control, 43 views, 4,000 subscribers, and only 43 people wanted to watch that. Makes me scratch my head and wonder as to why. Is that manipulation of the statistics and the algorithm? I'm pretty sure it is. Like, I've seen and experienced and even shared some examples of how the YouTube algorithm fucks with the statistics. There was one particular live feed. Do you remember a little while ago when I was getting more thumbs down than we had viewers watching? Was this the mafia action? Was this a disgruntled former wench wrench with backup accounts getting angry, trying to do some damage? But we watched in one particular live feed where we have 13 thumbs down. I think you were here, Killer. We had 13 thumbs down, and then in the middle of it changed to 4. We watched as that happened live. In fact, Becky P, she was here and pointed it out. She went, oh my God, the thumbs down just changed. So, it's hard, is this targeting me just to make me feel disgruntled into, what we're talking about, the electromagnetic mind control and this stuff? My phone knows what makes me upset. It makes me upset when people don't seem to fucking want to watch my videos. It always makes me upset as well when I sort of put a content out and information out in a video that 3 or 4 weeks later, one of the Thrift Fan viewers will send me a link of some other YouTuber that said exactly the same thing that I said 3 weeks ago. I'm like, pay attention to this stuff, If you can share other YouTubers' contents, why aren't you sharing mine? Is it because it really is that fucking shit? Is it because the thoughts and the information that I'm passing on is just nonsensical and you're too embarrassed to share it? I don't know. And, information in the internet was kind of created for one another to be passed around. Like, the internet was meant for information sharing, and I try to share my information. And it's kind of, as I said, a little bit disgruntling when you sort of share that information that nobody seems to pay attention to. But when a bigger or better YouTuber puts the same information out, that gets shared, and somehow people feel the need to share it to me. I'm like, guys, pay attention. I've been telling you this. Fuck yeah, intelligent people do cuss. Cocksucker, motherfucker, shit, cunt, whore, spear up your ass. And possibly it is in a little bit in the sort of presentation that I do want to show you. What do they call it? Oh my God. Cognitive dissonance. It's kind of when you don't want to hear the truth. You're so comfortable in your own little bubble of delusion. It's not a lie if I believe it kind of mentality that you don't want to hear. And I'm not saying I have the answers. I'm not saying to anybody what I'm saying is what's going on. There's just an awful lot of evidence. I've put together all the fucking technology that exists to make this happen. This technology surrounds us everywhere. Let's not rule out that is a possibility, and it's only by exploring possibilities that we can find the probability of any cause. Scientific evidence and explorations, we have to, in order to gain greater understanding, observe every eventuality. I call it bar mouth. Damn, Skippy, I'm guessing that's the cursing. Curse we all curse, it's kind of when people are getting upset about Donald Trump grabbing pussies. Fuck, every bro and buddy I've had is talked like that. Man, I fucking had my finger knuckle deep in the bitch's pussy. We talk like that, and I'm pretty sure women have talked like that. It's the way people talk, right? But people were being programmed and triggered, and this is again what Monarch programming is all about. It's about triggers. MK Ultra was about triggers, something we hear in recent times. Triggered. People get triggered and they get angry because they've been fucking programmed. They've been MK Ultra. They're fucking Manchurian candidates, right? And this is what people are. We're living in a Manchurian candidate fucking community in a society. The IQ, I blast through. I've never taken an IQ test. Choosing to believe this is it. George Costanza. It's not a lie if you believe it. And people choose. I've been with girls that I know have been fucking around on me, but I loved them, and I chose to believe that they weren't. And in the end, the fucking truth killed me. And at the time when I chose to believe the lie, I'd have been a bit more fucking big boy pants and fucking not afraid of being heartbroken that I lost somebody I loved, I may have saved some of that damage, or may have reduced that damage. Welcome, bonsoir, Etienne. 21, no, I was going to go into Italian then. Domestic abuse. Is that your name? Domestic abuse? Thumbs up. Interesting choice of name. But domestic abuse, that's something that we saw on the rise during COVID times, because people were not compatible with each other and maybe believing the lie that their relationship's hunky-dory, actually had to fucking spend time with each other instead of having their work or their jobs or school and everything else, and they only spend together, the minimal amount of time a day because work schedules, sleep patterns doesn't give them time to play with. All of a sudden they're at each other's throats because they can't stand being with each other. I don't know how many men I used to work with back in England when I worked in factories that would do every hour of overtime. You go, what the fuck's wrong with you? Overtime? Why don't you stay at home, enjoy your home life? Oh, fucking less work to do here if I'm working and I'm getting paid for it. If I'm home, all the missus does is fucking nag me. And how many of us are in relations or, have been in relationships where we're unhappy, but we're in them because we choose to believe the lie rather than accept the truth that it's not good for us? I don't know. She was here earlier. We did have fucking 20 odd people watching a little while ago, Etienne, but yeah, it is a little bit late, and maybe she did have a little bit too much Cajun moonshine and knocked herself out down there on the bio. Can we keep this going for an hour? I think we probably could do if we really, really try. No pussy is that good. You can always... My greatest advice to any man cars in vagina can be rented. You can drive a different car every week if you want to. Don't buy one, just fucking rent one when you need it. You don't have to worry about the insurance and anything like that. Same with vagina. Why have the same fucking fish sandwich each and every week when you can have a variety of fish sandwiches? You can have a po' boy one week, you can have a fucking fish taco the week after. You can go and get a fucking McFillet of fish if you really want. You know, and I kind of always feel sorry for men who think having a girlfriend or a wife defines them as a man. No, it kind of defines you as maybe somebody who can't piss standing up, and you need a woman in your life to make you feel more masculine. And same with women, you know, there are many women that don't need a man in them, like their life, for them to be able to function or go about their business. And I think I've been married, I've been divorced, I got fucking baby mamas, I've dated strippers, fucking a wide range of women. Yeah, here I am at 50 years old on my own, and it's not because I can't get a woman, I just don't want to, because the minute you get involved in a relationship, it's all down here, and sooner or later you're unhappy with each other, and it's better to be unhappy on your own than having somebody making you miserable that you end up resenting and hating. And as I said, if you can rent vagina, why don't you? You pay for it one way or another, my friend. You know, you go on Tinder these days, bitches ain't putting it out for free. They want to be taken to get a fucking pumpkin spice latte. They want some overpriced sushi. Or in these day and age, you might want to go and virtual single some fucking Beyond Beef products. You know what I'm saying? You've got to pay for that shit one way or another, and I'd rather pay for it financially than emotionally. I can afford, well, I used to be able to afford it financially, but you'd be surprised. Fucking $200-300, you can buy yourself half a dozen of fucking crack whores and have all the threesomes you want. Try doing that with a wife. Yeah, the women's form is nice. Men like, you know, we're attracted to the boobs. They're part of their design is to make men want to fucking breed with them, and this is our purpose on the planet, is to reproduce. Our purpose isn't to fucking go out and pay taxes and put ourselves in a slave situation for 30 years to pay a mortgage on a house that's owned by the bank for that duration that they could take away from you at any given moment if they choose, and they can change rates on a whim. We're not designed to be, you know, companionship like people. Let's talk about soulmates that most people like. Not all women, Mel. Seriously, I've had some fucking train wrecks that I almost thought I was carrying out some kind of humanitarian charity aid for just being with them. But we used to have an expression back in England, it's better than a wank. And maritime sailors, they used to have a saying, any port in a storm, make of that what you will. But yeah, the like nutsacks and dicks don't look nice, but you know, nice curvy female figure, nice pair of tits, nice ass. You can look at that shit all day. They don't exist. They're a hallmark product, and most people kind of think to themselves, "Oh, you know, how many weddings have you been to? Oh, I found my soulmate." No, you didn't. You just found the fucking person that said yes. You didn't find your soulmate. Think of the logistics of the exact identical person, the exact fit for you, being put into your place of work, into your school, at the end of your street, in the whole world. It's kind of like, you know, buying the winning lottery ticket twice at the same fucking restaurant, not the restaurant, gas station, with the same numbers. Maybe it will. Having accents and tattoos in North America will also get you a lot of woman trouble. Believe it or not, Devils speaks. But the superficiality, that's what I'm saying. That you might be the nicest fucking guy on the planet. You might have a heart of gold. You might worship the ground that a woman works on. But for most, I'm not saying all women, but a lot of women, you don't got the fucking Benjamins in the bank account to fucking sustain the lifestyle of superficiality that they want. They ain't going to give you the fucking life of day. And this is why we see so many hot ass bitches with little beta males that walk around with shopping bags 6 paces behind while they're fucking Snapchatting and Tinder and their fuck buddies that they're getting it from because they only give their fucking boyfriend that lives at home a tuggy once a month. That's what I'm saying. The only soulmate you truly have is yourself. Love yourself, and others love temporarily or love for the here and the moment. Pamela Henderson. Meeting the wrong woman. I've met fucking women in every single continent on this planet with the exception of Australia and New Zealand. Like literally, I've tasted the Baskin and Robbins, nearly every single flavour, and I've never met the right woman. So I'm all but aware that I'm a cantankerous, stubborn asshole that doesn't really get on with people. But overall, my travels and the multitude, and I don't want to like kind of be, oh, I've fucked hundreds of women, but I've fucked hundreds of women in every continent on this nation. Never found the right one. And from a man's perspective, and this is truth, and if any guy's really got the balls to admit this, the only right woman is the woman that's right here and now, that says yes to us. We don't choose who we want to be with. When we go to the nightclub, we look at the hottest girl that we think is the hottest girl in the bar. We want to buy her a drink. She says no, we go to the next girl. If she doesn't want to drink, we go to the next girl, and the next girl, and the next girl, and the next girl, and the next girl, until the one eventually says, yeah, I'll take a drink from you. And you put all your eggs in that basket. I've ordered every topping on the menu. No one near. Every topping. And something I've always been told, you know, every girl, not every girl, but the majority of girls I've met, they always say, I'm not like any other girl you've ever met. And I asked them, don't you have fallopian tubes, ovaries, a vagina and breasts? And they usually say, yeah, I've got all those things. And I'm like, well, you're like every other girl that I have ever met. And that's true, just like I'm like every other guy you've met. I've got testicles, cock and balls. Every other guy you've probably sat on his face has got testicles, cocks and balls. What's inside is the difference, but the outside, we're all identical, and it doesn't matter what colour the outside is, it all feels exactly the same in the dark. I mean, I know it's different for women, sometimes length, size and width might help you, but really and truly a guy can stick his dick between a couple of pieces of liver and get satisfied. It's not exactly hard, it just is nicer, you know, when it is in a shapely form of a female. Sorry, but anyway, limey. Yeah, I am a limey. I'm from the UK, and seriously, in North America, having a limey accent will remove a girl from a panties quite quickly or rapidly, until she does find out you're a broke-ass honky, and then she'll kind of feel very embarrassed that she did relinquish her panties so quickly on the base of an accent. Then they usually end up hating you, and they actually hate themselves. Where are you from, Devil Speak? Are you a UK thinking? No one there. Exactly. Did it feel funny? Like, were you like, where's the other one? Because I once dated a girl that had an elongated clitoris, and it was almost like a very small penis, and it kind of put me off a little bit, to be quite honest with you. It's like, can you maybe like tuck it in? Well, we all have accents from the Mississippi. I do like the southern, I also like, some of my Eastern European adventures in the 1980s, Bush, oh my God. Never go down on Bulgarian in the 1980s. That's not going to be fun. What was a freak accident? The one testicle, what happened? Was it struck by lightning? Or did he rip it off of his bicycle, perhaps? Raised, fighting and fucking. It's a good way to be raised. You learn a lot of life skills from fighting and fucking. You learn out about yourself and what you can deal and what you're capable of, having a little bit of a fisticuff. And you also find out about your body and other people's bodies by exploring them in a sexual manner. And Etienne, he has an accent of a French nature because he's from Quebec. Sorry if that's a very bad French accent. I was trying to like deliberately not go down a stereotype French torn off freak car accident. Yeah, I actually had a fucking dude that I went to school with, and he ended up getting raped by his cycle post, his saddle post on his bike. Yeah, he did. She wasn't my cousin. French is a beautiful language, but yeah, we were at the BMX track, and there was like a rump, but this kid was a little bit ghetto, and he didn't have a saddle on his bike. He kind of did the jump, and sort of when he landed, he kind of fell off, and the post kind of went up his shorts and like cracked open his ass crack. still around El Paso. So there we go. Bit of a weird story at the back, but as I said, guys, I don't even know what I said now to think of it. Don't even know where this show was gone, to be quite honest with you. It was a bit of a hit and hope, make it up as I go along in the first place, but we got very we got a lot of viewers, 20 odd people watching, which is quite phenomenal, quite a little bit uplifting and exhilarating. It's a little bit of a boost to the system. So I decided, you know what, we got shut down, the battery run out on my other phone, so I figured let's try and throw up another live feed and maybe wrap things up, because we were on a roll. But this second part of the show, I don't really know what direction it's gone in or where it's going now. But I don't know if you can kind of look. I don't exactly look very good. I look a little bit like CT there. My goodness, maybe that's the Polak genes in us. But yeah, I don't really know what I'm doing with myself most minutes at the minute, and I'm not a Rothschild. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of crazy shit. I'm not looking forward to the next week. I've actually been a little bit terrified about the prospect of hang on a minute, I might have it here. If we can show you it. Sorry, yes I do. Alright, I'm going to give you a little bit of a presentation now. This is what the Watchmen. Oh fuck. Alright, so The Watchmen, my favourite comic book. There you go. This is going to happen, or this is a fiction from the 2nd of November False Flag event. Check it out.
Midnight, November 2nd. That's unusual. I'd expected us to reappear on Earth much earlier. The static interference I noticed earlier makes everything so unpredictable. Obviously, it wasn't caused by a warhead detonation. What then? Not tachyons, surely. Yes, definitely. A squall of tachyons. Where can they be coming from? I'd almost forgotten the excitement of not knowing, the delights of uncertainty. Tendori to go. That's all they went out for, these people. Tendori to go. And instead, they got... I mean, who's safe? How can anyone protect themselves against a world where this happens? Tachyon particles traveling backwards in time occur rarely. Someone must be generating them. If I probe far enough, I should stumble upon the source of the disturbance, though this static makes scanning difficult. Also, there's apparently more than one generator. Most are faint, but a pulse from the southern polar region is strong. Logically, we should investigate the Antarctic signal immediately, assess its connection with this catastrophe. Get me out of here. Out? Certainly. We can trace the tachyons to their source. And John, I just want to be away from these people and that thing. And I'm sorry. How thoughtless of me. This must be a distressing time for you. John, for Christ's sake, just take it away. Take Cat away, Vite. Take Cat away and face me. Adrian, I'm sorry. I don't buy this hoax invasion story. Come on. What are you really up to? Very well. Once more. I engineered a monster, cloned its brain from a human psychic, sent it to New York, and killed half of the city. Adrian, that's bullshit. Listen to voice. He did it. Look, nobody could do that. You're being... He did it. Half New York. Fight. Get rid of Cat. No, I don't think so. After all, her presence saves you the humiliation of another beating. Rorschach, his story. It's full of holes. Adrian, your assassination attempt. What if he'd shot you first instead of your secretary? I suppose I'd have had to catch the bullet, wouldn't I? You... Come on. That's completely... You couldn't really do that. You wouldn't kill half New York. You couldn't. I could. I did. If you like, I'll tell you how. The psychic was the key. Poor young Robert Deschaines. I acquired his brain after death, and my geneticists cloned something much bigger and more powerful from it, incorporating it into my creature. The brain was a psychic resonator. It would amplify a signal pulse and broadcast it, the signal triggered by the onset of death. We coded a lot of information into the signal, terrible information. Max Shay's descriptions of an alien world, Hira Manish's images, and Lynette Paley's sounds.
I don't know if we're back, guys, but they shut us down. I'm still streaming on one, but it's showing a little bit on YouTube that we're backed up, so maybe we will be back in a while. I think we are. Are we? Yes, no? Yeah, they interrupted it. I don't know if you guys can still hear me or not. Hello, YouTube. We might come... There we are! We're back, I think, on YouTube. Hello. I think we are, anyway. It looks as though I've come back on one of them. But yes, if you can hear me on YouTube, leave me a remark or something. Still on my phone, unfortunately, it's saying that there's nobody watching. There we are. We are back. So yeah, unfortunately, we did get a copyright. And that's what happens, devil speak, that they will shut you down like that if it goes too long. But the funny thing is that they let that go for nearly 3 or 4 minutes before they shut it down, and then they kind of shut it down at the "this is what you need to know" point. But go to my channel. The complete 12 issues or 12 episodes of The Watchmen is there, and The Watchmen is kind of what I read in 1985 as a comic book geek and nerd, and The Watchmen is something I've told you guys will set you free if you read it, because it tells you exactly how a militarized industrial complex and a very extremely wealthy elite controls and manipulates the entire world, and how he carries out a Project Bluebeam type false flag hoax alien event in New York City on the 2nd of November. This 2nd of November, people, we've got an asteroid due to come very, very close to the Earth. I think that was Devil speak that mentioned something about Halloween, and there's been more and more UFO media near Earth object sightings over the COVIDian lockdown era than ever before. I've done an entire playlist on Project Bluebeam, COVID cover-up, Project Bluebeam, and they're getting ready. I've documented almost month to month every single sighting event report that I could find on the internet. Not everyone, but a lot of information and content I could find on outer worldly events in regards to Project Bluebeam being staged very, very shortly, and COVID-19 is the big smokescreen distraction while they get that ready. So I got a bit of something stuck in my lip there. But The Watchmen was written by the same individual that wrote this book, V for Vendetta. Just for the record, if you did see a meme that's situated, again, memetics and how they misinform people and give them tiny little bits of information, this isn't set in 2020, and it isn't about a St. Mary's virus where they keep telling you it's for your own safety. In fact, let's open the book on the first page and you can see it's not set in 2020 at all. It's set in 1997. I don't know if you can read it there. 1997. The book's set in 1997. And it's about a terrorist. V is a terrorist who goes on his own personal jihad and vendetta rampage, and then becomes a martyr while also kidnapping, torturing and brainwashing his successor in the process. He's also, although it isn't confirmed, if you read between the lines, and you have to read between the lines of V for Vendetta, he's also a homosexual Islamic radical. But a meme circulated around August time telling everybody that it's about a movie that come out in 2005 that's set in 2020 about a virus. It's not anything about a fucking virus, but that meme made fucking people start wearing that mask to the point that I want to throw that mask away, because I'm embarrassed to be associated with the people that are wearing it now that think they're fucking V for Vendetta. They're not going to be fucking throwing Molotovs or going out cutting the throats of government officials like V does in the movie, or in the book rather. Do you know what I'm saying? And this is how it works. But The Watchmen is written by the same person as V for Vendetta, Alan Moore, right there. Alan Moore will set you free. He not only wrote this, he wrote The Watchmen, and The Watchmen, for me, is probably one of those 1984 Brave New World pieces of literature that is very, very prophetic. What is also very, very, very interesting in that little scene, I don't know if you paid attention, there was a Billy Joel concert that was due to be played at the Madison Square Garden. Although not this year, next year, November the 2nd, there's a Billy Joel concert at the Madison Square Garden. So if not this November the 2nd or next November the 2nd is going to be a plausible date, I don't know. But with all the UFO sightings going on, somebody mentioned about the triangular ship. Now, yeah, what if that triangular ship is an Earth-based UFO? Remember, the stealth bomber was in operation for 30 years before it was finally declassified. People saw it many, many times before it had been declassified. Looked like UFO technology to us. Now, what if that triangular spaceship that we have been seeing is, in fact, an Earth-based classified vehicle that is being, or is going to be used in, suggested that it's an enemy spacecraft. Something very, very interesting also that I've been sort of going back and looking into. I did watch a couple of movies. There's two of them in the series, the Iron Sky movies, and fucking fascinating, mind-blowing concept behind this. It's very quirky and sort of fun movie to watch, very entertaining, but the hidden subliminals, it kind of, let me give you a little bit of a kind of rough, brief synopsis of Iron Sky. Basically, 1945, before the end of the war, Nazi scientists were that much advanced than the rest of the Allied forces that they actually had the ability to go to the moon. They had rockets, and the Nazis did have rocket ships during World War II. In fact, it was the Nazi scientists in Paperclip that helped NASA with their rocket technology. But anyway, back to this theory that during the war, 1940s, the top-ranking members of the Nazi party, along with a couple of hundred genetically selected, perfect Aryan, blue-eyed, blonde-hair boys and girls, were sent to the dark side of the moon to live in a Nazi moon base, where they had flying saucer type ships, a little bit primitive by today's standard, but wartime, state of the art, beyond any comprehension that people could have. And they went and lived on the moon and hid out and started to build their plans for the Fourth Reich on the dark side of the moon, in a moon base that they lived. But they only had computer technology from 1940s, although they had the ability to fly to the moon and they had a base on the moon. The technology they had was still 1950s technology. But in this realm of the Iron Sky, the United States president sends a black astronaut back to the moon as some part of a publicity campaign winning stunt, and this black astronaut stumbles onto the Nazi moon base, who have, oh my god, they're a black astronaut, because some of these people have never grown up on the moon, and this is kind of like in our time, and the world in 2018 come to an end because the moon Nazis attacked Earth, and they used spaceships, and in particular they also used very large zeppelins that carried big chunks of rock that when they got close to the Earth's atmosphere they let go, and the rocks come through the Earth and boom, took out big chunks of the Oppenheimer. Yes, they built the largest German war machine. Oppenheimer is mentioned in there. TR-3B was being escorted over, but didn't get it on videos. World War I, World War II technology. But not only that, when they go on, like in the sequel to the movie, I can't even remember what it's called, but in the sequel, it's revealed that the Earth is hollow. And spoiler, I don't want to spoil it too much in case you guys want to watch it, but the Earth is hollow, and the Nazi party was actually ancient aliens, right? They'd been at Earth at prehistoric times, and although they landed on Earth they were reptilian. They were the smartest reptiles on the planet. The dinosaurs and everything were a bit dumb, but they kind of helped. They noticed primates, and they helped with the evolution by injecting them with a serum that made primates smarter. And they had two monkeys in particular that they called Adam and Eve, and they injected the serum into the apple and then fed the apple to the two monkeys, Adam and Eve. So there's a little bit of Genesis stuff, but they live within the Earth's core, and within the Earth's core is a tropical paradise. It has its very own power source, and the way to get to this Earth's core tropical paradise utopia is through Antarctica, where there is a gap in the glaciers that you can get down and navigate your way to the Earth core. Now, back in the 1940s, what was his name? Adler? Somebody, was it Adler? Professor Adler? There was an expedition in the 40s or the 50s, big expedition to Antarctica. And some of those results and stuff that, like, it was a very classified, oh my god, we need to shut the fuck up about this operation. But some of the stuff that did come through was that there was a tropical paradise on Antarctica, and the hollow earth, moon Nazis, ancient aliens, all of this stuff is actually a theory. There's a real scientific theory that this fiction obviously has been taken from. Again, the triangular spaceship that you mentioned, Devil, is this, maybe it looks futuristic to us, but is it ancient German technology that's been hidden away somewhere for years? There was also rumors in World War II that the Nazis also had a secret submarine base at Antarctica. And if you can remember the movie Ice Station Zebra with, was it Richard Burton or Rock Hudson? I can't remember. Rock Hudson, I think. But they went to Antarctica to make sure the Soviets and the Allies didn't discover some secret base that was there. Admiral Byrd, there it is, Admiral Byrd, not Adler. Admiral Byrd. But anyway, he went and did a big expedition to Antarctica, and there was some stuff that suggested that nobody's ever been to Antarctica. We don't hear anything about it, right? I would love to hear that stuff, Devil's Talk, and this is kind of what we're talking about here. In Operation Paperclip was when the Allied forces pretty much cherry-picked the creme de la creme of Nazi scientists and technology and brought it from their own. The Nazis didn't lose the war, they just switched sides. Die Glock, things like Volkswagen was a product of Nazi engineering. The Autobahn, the motorway, the freeways in Germany, Nazi technology. Adidas trainers, created by a Nazi. Hugo Boss. You know why the SS in the Nazi uniforms used to look so very, very more snazzy than the Allied ones? It's because they were designed by Hugo Boss. Hugo Boss, now one of the biggest designers on the planet, was a Nazi. All these stuff we got to thank the Nazi party for. Maybe no one has been back. Maybe they haven't. Who knows? But yeah, Nazi technology, the Fourth Reich, the United Nations, the Unified Nazis, as I like to call them, they are the Fourth Reich. 2030 is, or Agenda 2030 as it's now known in its infancy, it was Agenda 21, which was the project for sustainable development going into the 21st century. Now we're in the 21st century. There is no Agenda 21, it's Agenda 2030 now, and by 2030, which is 10 years from now, they want us living in the one world, computerized, digitalized, hive mind world. That's why we hear where we go one, we go all. And if you break down where we go one, we go all, you can literally spell NWO, New World Order. I might even do it in the comments for you. I'll make the letters capital for you. No, I can't do it. Hang on. Where we go one, we go all. NWO, New World Order, written there, right in plain sight, right in front of your eyes, if you choose to see it. Shockwave is an old school about Nazi super soldiers. Now, yeah, again, super soldiers was something that the Nazis were definitely trying to breed. If you watch the TV show The Boys, which again was another previously publicized comic book written by Garth Ennis, is actually probably one of the last comic books I started to collect and read before I left the United Kingdom in 2008. Can't carry a comic book collection with you in a backpack when you're on the road. But The Boys, Nazi technology, paperclip, super soldier serum, they created a franchise of superheroes where you can buy a superhero from this company, big giant company, that genetically makes superheroes with super soldier serum. Captain America was the result of super soldier serum. There was actually a very dark comic that came out called The Truth. And before they got to Steve Rogers and injected him, remember Steve Rogers, Captain America, blonde hair, blue eyes, a little bit like a Nazi, Aryan himself, but he was Captain America, remember, not Captain Nazi. But he was the product of super soldier serum. But until they perfected the formula, they tested on black people, and the first Captain America within this comic book called The Truth was black, and he was the first one that accepted and didn't have any result effects to the super soldier serum. Now, methamphetamine and PCP are products of super soldier serum experimentation. These were supposed to be weaponized. Crystal methamphetamine would keep you alert and awake within the battlefield. Now it just keeps tweakers watching MTV endlessly. But super soldier serum, hybrid humans, stuff like that. See, look at this. We've actually got some fucking great conversation going on right now in the chat. But I do need to piss. I said I was going to go for an hour. We're now at an hour and 11 minutes. But yeah, guys, we've seen an awful lot of this stuff. Almost 2:30 here. Yeah, God, it's late. Luckily enough, my roommate Roger's on an overnighter, so I do have the place to myself, which is like late night. I think is the best time to go. Like midnight hour, I think for this kind of talk is usually when we get the most sort of dialogue and conversation going. Sometimes earlier in the evening, earlier in the day, people got stuff going on, families and stuff. But as I said, I do have roommates and other people in the building I have to consider. So sort of after midnight, I don't really like to be talking and being loud or stuff like that. But thanks for joining us, No One Near. Hopefully you enjoyed the content of tonight's show. I don't know what I fucking call it at the minute. Let's do some more cursing randomly. Shit, cunt, piss flaps, beef curtains. But take care, No One Near. Glad as always to see you. Stop by the thrift store. Stay safe, stay well, and be excellent to anybody that you can be, except for Oxford United supporters, and they deserve to be fucking shot in the head the minute they're dragged out of the womb. Yeah, let's get some Sumerian type fucking godly genocide on the people of Oxford. I got a roll. I need to piss. I could do that. Thank you, Warfist. Means a lot to me, guys. As I said, I've been feeling probably more alone than I've ever felt in my life, and I'm used to being alone. I like being alone. I'm not saying I'm a lone wolf to be cool and mysterious. I am somebody who lives on my own. Anyone that's followed along for a while will know I'm alone. And I've made some good friends and hung out over the summer and got myself out and about and sort of did things that normally I wouldn't be able to do under the sort of full-time employment type of guys. You're always tired and don't have enough time to enjoy yourself. And I think that's why it's been a harder pill than ever to swallow this winter, because I actually had some fun and really enjoyed myself, despite the fact that my dad did die and the world went to shit and that we were under lockdown during the summer. I did a lot of enjoyable stuff. I took you out to the beaches with me. We did lots of camp outs. I used my bug out bag. I took stuff from my pantry, cooked food with the minimum amount of equipment and the minimal amount of effort, as real life demonstrations that how all this Dollarama stuff can actually work and function just as well as expensive prepping products. I could roll and take you out the front. I'm just going to turn the mic off while I piss. I figured out I can do that. I'm back. Can you hear me? That was a long pee. Do 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 do. I could have put some music on actually. Hang on a second. I've got music. Here you go. I'm going to roll a spliff actually. The government, yeah, poor winter people. Did the music stop yet? I don't know. I'm going to get my weed rolling stuff. Can you hear me again, guys? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I grew some good shit this year. That's the spirit, devils. Speak. I'm just going to call you Devil. We could call you DS. Feel free to send some. Actually, don't. That would be a federal crime, sending drugs via the mail. Unless you're in Canada where it is legal and you can actually go to the post. Baby pee. That was for you. But you can hear me? Okay, good. But yeah, you can buy smell-proof baggies at the post office here in Canada to send weed to people. I'm not really ready for anything. I don't know. I mean, I like to think I'm ready. I do got some things you can't prepare for, and something I've told you before, guys, that how can you prepare against directed energy weaponry? How can you prepare against mind control weaponry? How can you prepare against artificial intelligent interference in our daily life? How do you? It's one thing to be prepared food-wise, food insurance, very, very important. But for me, the mind is the most important thing to prepare. And depending on how morally flexible you are, and believe me, guys, I'm about as if the equivalent of morally flexible is a Korean 15-year-old gymnast. They're pretty flexible. But anyway, you can always find food if you're morally flexible, and especially if you kind of live in an expensive, fancy neighborhood where nearly all the males are beta males and kind of have stupid beards, stupid fucking haircuts, wear Banana Republic bow ties to walk the dogs. There's not going to be much resistance to your moral flexibility and your baseball bat. I know people in the States that have been using, I mean, I think you can UPS and FedEx and stuff like that. You can kind of get past it a little bit if you can. I think using the mail, you're not allowed to. God, where are my cigarettes? Oh no, there they are. So as you know, I do like to roll my spliffs. Yeah, ATN's in Quebec, although Quebec is kind of like different to Canada. I mean, it's still Canada, but it's very French in Quebec. Yeah, there are quite a few states, but this is the you know, I've got literally 3 cigarettes left to my name in my packet. Luckily, I save like the dregs of tobacco that I drop on my little rolling tray here. You can see there's little bits of tobacco and stuff there. And I save it for emergencies. And what I do, let me show you, so some more prepping advice, guys. Prepping advice for you. So I chuck all my debris. I actually cleaned it out the other day, so all the like butts of cigarettes like this, I throw it in my tin, and then every now and then when this gets full, I go through it and I reclaim all the little bits of tobacco that sometimes, you know, I can give you an example perhaps. Like sometimes, you know, you get a little bit of tobacco in the end of the butt. Save that shit for an emergency. And I've had this one packet of cigarette. I got down to my last pack of cigarettes on Saturday. So what I do is I kind of allow myself maybe 3 or 4 cigarettes a day, and then the rest of the time I smoke the shit tobacco. So I'm going to actually use a good one today. That leaves me for 2 for tomorrow. So I'm going to roll myself a little spliff. Sorry, what was I saying there? I would love to tour Texas. It was always somewhere on my list when I was living in the States that I wanted to go. I am kind of Californian by adoption. Cali will always be my probably favorite state of the United States. But I always wanted to go to Texas just because kind of Texas for me, if I were to sort of explain Americana or visualize Americana, it'd be Texas Stetsons, big wide spaces, trucks, guys with rifles and guns, buffaloes and stuff. Little bits that go in a pipe, you can't go roll it. You'll be surprised what I can roll, devils speak. I've been rolling since I was 14 years old. I ride one with a machine. I used to be able to, although I probably still could, roll blindfolded with my eyes shut. I can actually chop with my eyes shut. I can chop razor thin with my eyes shut without looking. To bite tobacco is, yeah, like rolling tobacco is something you don't find a lot of here, and it's actually not that much. It's kind of considered exotic because it's not as common. But in the UK, rolling tobacco is actually more popular than cigarettes because it's cheaper. Dev, how old are you? Are you talking a bit to me twice? I hope not. I'd make you 100, brother or sister. Are you a boy or a girl, devil speak? Probably forgive me if I'm upsetting or insulting. But I hope you're not 100. Although if you are, good for you. That's quite the spirit. Good advertisement for a weed smoker. And there you go. If he is 100, you're close to 100. Really? Wow. I get a cheap pipe, big ass biker. I don't like the pipe. I've got one somewhere. I do have a little pipe, but I just don't enjoy it. It's not the same. I kind of like that big. You're a big ass biker. Awesome. We do have such an eclectic bunch of people here at the thrift store. Although we do seem to have an awful lot of southern middle-aged housewives. I figured like devil speak does sound a little bit more like a guy's name. Not many women would want to be considered a devil, although they are all devils in disguise. Actually, there was some really cool stuff. Prism had an update. Tumbling turds, you know, the tumbling turds. Hold on. I don't know if I've updated this version. Yeah, look at this. See, we can have some Halloween things in the background, or this one's a pretty good one. Do you like that one? What else can we do? I think this is, yeah, look, rain. Oh, it's so wet and rainy outside. And we've also got This is for little Nancy. She's in bed. Don't know what that one's all about, to be honest with you. But we've got all sorts of things that you can do on here now. Where's... Oh. Ta-da! I can't find them now. But anyway, there's a whole new bunch of stuff that you can do on here. Oh, wait. No, I know what it is. Hold on. Look at some of these. I've got a great one to show you. Oh my God, wait till I find it. You're going to like this, guys. It's very rude. I was going to open with it, but I thought it might upset people. It's not actually rude, to be honest with you, if I can find it. Here it is. Right. Okay, so I don't know if you can see right now. There's... No. So, you can see. All right, now watch. I don't know if you can see the girl. But if I pull her over here, make her bigger. See what you can do? Anyway, let's get rid of that before we upset anyone. Thought that was pretty cool. Anyway, I don't know why that made me laugh. But there's lots of stuff like that I can do now. I can even, hold on, let me try one more time. This was actually, I liked this one more if I can find it again. Look, you can even get a... Put him over there in the corner. But did you like the girl? She's drinking from a straw, but if you position it right, it looks like she's sucking you off. But I'm trying to find, there's John Travolta from Pulp Fiction. Well, where's Nancy? She would like him. Look. So we've got stuff going on. Sorry, let me just find John Travolta. That was the best bit, and then we'll go and smoke. There's the girl again. I think John Travolta's close. We can even put like a dancing girl. Isn't that great? Simple things in simple minds, as they say. Where can we put the girl now? Do you like that? That works pretty well. Yeah, I thought there'd be at least one person that would like the suck off girl. She's drinking from a straw, really, but you can kind of position her. I did lose people. We had like over 10 people until we got the suck off girl. Little shits falling from the sky. Yeah, the tumbling turds. Tongues of war stories. Devils speak. We like you. We will try and get you on maybe as a guest caller at some time. I do that. We'll figure out a way. I do want to get Truth Flicks on tomorrow, because Truth Flicks is another very, very similar-minded guy to me. He speaks a lot about a kind of sentient world simulation, some predictive programming, yada yada, whoop-de-woo, ray-tay-tay. She looked like she was doing a two-handed jerk-off. Yes, she did. Or maybe she didn't. I still wanted to find John Travolta, because that was the best one. I thought it was the best one. There's fucking shitloads of them, guys, that you can put on here. A whole lot of emojis and emotion cons and gifts that you can add to the live stream. A lot of them are kind of seasonal. There's a lot of Halloween shit at the minute. Where's fucking John Travolta? You know, I found him earlier when I wanted him easy. Wait, is it getting close? It's not, but let's put Morty. We can put a dancing Morty up there in the corner, look. Actually, let's bring him down so it looks like he's stood on the shelf. We can actually leave that there all the time. That's going to be pretty cool. I knew an old CIA agent and fighter pilot, some other people. You'd probably get on well with William Mason. He's got some sort of war stories and stuff to tell. I'm glad I made your night, Killer. You made my night as well, buddy. Thank you. You know what I'm talking about. Well, What was I doing? Oh, there it is. Did I lose my cigarette? Sorry, I got carried away with the funny little emoji things. Isn't Rick cool dancing in the corner there? It's just like he's meant to be. Why can't I find John Travolta? There's a taco as well that Flynn's. I just want to find John Travolta. It's upsetting me now that I can't find John Travolta. I think he was close to the girl that drinks from the straw. There she is. You can't see her. Let me just find John Travolta and don't get confused. Finding John Travolta. Sorry if this is boring, guys. When I find John Travolta, you'll see why I was excited. No, that was Rick. Why can't I find John Travolta? He really was the best one. Okay, I think I've gone too far. Damn! That's really upset me. I can't find John Travolta. Maybe I've just passed it. Sorry guys, I've lost all your interest and people are leaving now, I know, I can see. Oh no, we've still got 9. Alright, I can't find him. That sucks. Maybe I'll find it again another day. I swear there was a John Travolta from Pulp Fiction. Never mind. Sorry guys, I tried to find it. The virus has a lot to do with it. He's in the bar by himself, probably. Or doing some heroin with Marcellus Wallace's wife. Does Marcellus Wallace look like a bitch? Say what one more time, motherfucker. I dare you, I double dare you. What language do they speak in what? That is a tasty burger. Big kahuna. Anyway, let me take you out with me to the stoop. Can I switch the camera around? Can. I'm going to probably have to put shoes on and a jacket. Morty's still... Should we get rid of Morty now? Okay, let's get rid of Morty. Yeah, I'm just putting my boots on. And I also kind of need to slip on a hoodie. It's fucking 1 degree outside. Actually, no, it's not. It's 4 degrees outside right now. It's not the warm days of the summer where I could stay out in the middle of the night without any clothes on, although I used to wear shorts. We're going to the stoop. Killer. But I might be quiet when we're outside because of neighbours and stuff. Don't want to upset anybody. Special effects for you. We're outside. Sorry, so that is outside, guys. Can you see the purpleness in the sky? Oh, I'm in Toronto, Canada, devil. There's a spooky house across the street. Does the sky look purple to you? Yeah, I'm guessing this is a little bit boring. Sorry about that. That didn't really help much either. Yeah, we've been here before. At least that gives you something to look out. Yeah, sorry, it's a little bit boring. But I'm nearly done. Sorry about that, guys. Hopefully you don't mind that little smoke break. I could have put a little bit of a video or something on for you and gone out, but you come with me, so that's all good. I'm back. Let me take this off. What are we at? 1 hour and 35 minutes. My goodness, I'm giving you nearly 6 hours of content today. Crazy, crazy. I haven't done live feed for quite a while, and today I spoilt you with live feed overdoses. Hopefully you won't be bored of me and you'll come back again. There we go. Yeah, it has got, it's 39 degrees Fahrenheit in US temperatures, or 4 degrees centigrade here in Canadian. Oh goodness, I got a little bit of a winded walking down the stairs there. Sorry, thank you Devils Speak if you subbed. As I said, I'm going to try and get TrueFlix together tomorrow, fingers crossed, and we're going to talk a little bit more about what we've been discussing today. I do want to get into a little bit more of unraveling the mystery about 1985, if any of you guys are interested in that. Certainly something that I've been spending. I spent like a week searching like almost endlessly VHS archives of some of these old TV shows, and purposely I wanted to get the VHS quality recordings because of the sound and the mind effect, and something that I was trying to explain a couple of weeks ago when I did do the last live show to 2 people was I grew up in the United Kingdom, and I didn't reach the United States until I was 27, 28, I think, 1999. So yeah, I was 28 years old the first time I ever went to the United States. But before I ever went to the United States, I loved America. I knew everything you could possibly, well, not everything, but the mall. I knew everything about the mall in America. I knew all about the candy bars, the snacks, the sodas, and I genuinely loved America. And looking back and doing my research now and talking about electromagnetic mind control, the reason is because I spent a lot of my teenage years, I'm an only child, I didn't have any brothers and sisters, I spent a lot of time alone reading American comic books, watching American movies and TV shows, and I was very fortunate that we had a VHS recorder when I was a kid, and I actually had one in my bedroom when I was 14, and had a little portable TV and a video recorder in my room, and I used to tape all the cartoons and all the movies off the, like, used to tape the songs off the radio. I used to do that with my VHS, and I used to just saturate myself watching these cartoons and movies, like almost not 24/7, but most of my spare time, and certainly, you know, in England where it's not nice weather, we can go out a lot. Most of my school holidays I was spent watching my VHSs. So I used to live in California, Devils Speak. I lived in Cali for 4 years. I lived in LA for nearly 3 years, in San Diego for a year, before getting arrested, incarcerated, and eventually deported. And then a little bit of a plan I come up with in immigration prison down there in Southern California was, if I get to Canada, where they've got a large unprotected border, maybe I might find my way back to California somehow, some way. But unfortunately, not long after I arrived in Toronto, a very expensive city, and didn't really find anybody of any importance or reliability to get me across the border. I got stuck here. I ended up with no money. I ended up homeless. I then eventually ended up in a homeless shelter for a few months, and pretty much since 2013, when I moved out of the homeless shelter, I've been working on minimum wage, paycheck to paycheck, and it was only really until COVID that I did found a little bit of stability and security in a long-term full-time employment at a place that treated me pretty decently before being made non-essential. And sadly, the restaurant I worked is struggling and may eventually close for good. But anyway, that's not here to be there. I probably don't want to go back to the United States now due to the current climate, and I don't really want to be in Canada much longer, which is why I kind of do want to eventually, when I get some money coming through, get myself to Central America and to the tropical climates. But as I said, guys, the fact that I kind of saturated myself in Americana as a teenager probably explains why I loved America so much, because the 80s were possibly the last good feel-good decade. If you remember, in the 1990s, sort of almost the turn of the decade, everything went very grungy. 1991, we saw the introduction of Nirvana and Pearl Jam and Soundgarden and other type grungy band, and all the kind of colourful, brightly coloured hair bands and pop rockers and like the Duran Duran, Spandau Ballets, all that kind of disappeared, and we were replaced by the Nirvanas in the sort of scruffy, dark, depressing type of genre, as well as sort of rave music, which was very disruptive in the United Kingdom and did play a very, very strong part in a suspended adolescence. Well, so does Toronto, so does California. Crime is everywhere, and sometimes, as I said, if you're morally flexible, going to places with a large crime rate might suit your lifestyle a little bit better, if you feel what I'm saying. But as I said, somewhere in Central America is going to be my prime destination, or maybe somewhere in the Bermuda is also part of the British Commonwealth, and the Bahamas, I also believe, are part of the Commonwealth. So there's a lot of places to sort of choose from that are English speaking down there. But Belize is cheap as chips. For 50 grand you can buy 16 acres of land, which is quite a lot of land to do something with. You couldn't fucking rent a room for a couple of years here in Toronto for that much. Well, hopefully no one's going to rape me, and if you kind of get the impression or give the appearance that you're broke, no one's going to go out of their way to rob you a little bit. But Quebec, yeah, they get very, very cold. I've only ever been to Montreal. I've never been to Quebec City, but I've been to Montreal in February, and fuck me, that was horrible. That was like -40, and there's absolutely nothing you can do to protect yourself from -40. It's like, imagine sitting in your refrigerator, and even if you put a fucking coat and a hat on, you're still going to feel the cold gets into you. Yeah, and I believe so. So I've heard that Quebec, certainly in the sort of winter months, when I see the national weather forecast, I'm like, thank fuck I'm not in Quebec. But there you go, guys. Anyway, what are we at now? 1:45. Let me drag this down to 2 hours, although it's gone 3 o'clock. I do find sometimes, as I said, I'm more alive and awake at this time of day, and probably because I did spend, nearly the last part of the decade working graveyard shift, unsociable hours as part of the service industry, not necessarily finishing work till 1, 2 o'clock, sometimes 3 o'clock in the morning before I come home. But during the winter, during some of the summer months, I did sort of resort a little bit to sleeping at night, falling to, a reasonable time, getting up in the morning, certainly getting up before midday. But at a minute, in the last sort of couple of weeks, where sort of the depression and everything that sort of hit me and kind of rendered me a little bit useless, I've been up till 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, not getting up till 2, 3 in the afternoon, and then pretty much going back to bed by 8 o'clock. So today's done a little bit of good for me in the sense that I've actually talked and communicated with people, although you're not actually in my close proximity. We are interacting one way or another. And it's stimulating in the fact that this is conversational, and hopefully you guys have been enjoying my ramblings over these last few hours. We've got like 15 minutes to kill for the 2 hours. As long as we got weed, we're good, and I'd rather have weed than food. As I said, if you are morally flexible, then you can, in a big city like this, you're never that far away from food. And as I said, bearded hipsters in pants that are too skinny and too short are not going to put up much of a fight, I wouldn't have imagined. The Four Corners area, if I could, that's where the 4 states meet, right? But anyway, as I was saying, guys, I've done a lot of kind of research and looking into 1985, and a lot of that did kind of make me feel quite good about myself. And again, was this part of the frequencies that were hidden within the music and the movies and the cartoons of that era? And is that why we always love and have such fond memories of the 80s, is because they were dopamine affecting us with the EMFs. But come the 90s, they started grunging us and making us depressed and upset. And then I don't even want to talk about dubstep. If any of you don't know what dubstep is, don't look at it, but look at it just to kind of realize, thank fuck I don't have to dance to that at the nightclubs. But that's kind of a little bit what I would like to do, is have a sort of, I don't know if I could be completely self-sufficient, but certainly, having a goat, maybe a couple of chickens, so you can get some milk, you can get eggs and grow some potatoes and fruits and stuff and some other vegetables. Then you could supplement your diet and your nutritional sort of requirements from your yard. That would be good. And as I said, go to the place. I'm not allowed in the United States, Killer, still for another year. I've got a 10-year ban when they kicked me out. And surprisingly, even though they kicked me out and treated me fucking like the United States government treated me worse than anybody has ever treated me. Certainly when I got incarcerated, it was bad, and it got even worse when they sent me to the immigration prison. And if immigration prisons are going to be anything like FEMA camps, God bless anybody that goes there. And I say God bless, and I'm an atheist, so never mind. But I'm still not allowed in the United States, and unfortunately, ATM, quite a lot of the females that I did bang were in a very short period of time in Southern California. Yet, despite the fact that I had 2 baby mamas, although one didn't keep the baby, I never found myself an American wife, unfortunately. And again, although they got a little bit attracted to the accent, love and accents don't pay the bills for a lot of girls, sadly. But no, I didn't get myself an American wife, and to be quite honest with you, getting a wife when you think you're in love for natural reasons is a risk, but getting into a financial agreement for immigration purposes would be like putting your dick in the automated mincing machine. But anyway, sorry, got a little bit sidetracked there. But unfortunately, no, Killer, I'm not allowed to set foot in the United States for another 14 months, and then once the ban's up, it's even it's a risk if they will let me enter again or not. I might have to try and obtain a pardon or a waiver or something, but I don't know, maybe if you do serve your time and you turn up on the border, they might let you in, but I'm not allowed in. There are ways around it. Unfortunately, they will require money and legal assistance, and if or not it's worth the amount, I don't know, but I would like to be back in California, or certainly maybe in one of the warmer states. Fancy New Mexico as well. I'm going living in Albuquerque just because of Breaking Bad, and again, Belize is a little bit Breaking Bad. Then work visas, I'm too old for a work visa, and they are also very difficult and time consuming to get. And again, when you get with the thing, I'm very anti-establishment and very anti-government. I don't have a bank account, I don't have a credit card, I don't have a debit card, I don't have a utility bill, I don't have a phone contract, I don't have cable, I don't have Wi-Fi, nothing. I don't even have a rental agreement. I pay everything under the table in cash, the best I can. And this is what living grey is. If you go and apply for visas or for citizenship in any country, you put yourself into the system. They know you're there. They're going to tax you to fuck. I haven't paid tax in over 12 years, people. I mean, other than like on my purchases at the store, which is unavoidable, but I haven't paid income tax. Yeah, they do, because it's at elevation like Cali. But again, it's probably not going to be as cold in New Mexico as it is in Canada. So it's kind of living a little bit off the grid, devil speak. It's kind of hiding in plain sight. I have no status here. The government don't know I'm here. They don't know I exist. And all immigration in applying for visas is complying with government requirements, and then they can decide if or not. There are ways around it, again, but you have to put yourself into the system, killer. So sometimes it's sort of best, like, you know, I've functioned for nearly a decade here in Canada without any of the things that, you know, permanent residents are entitled to. I've got no health care, no unemployment, no nothing like that at all. But I've managed for the best part of a decade, keep my bills paid, keep myself with a roof over my head, keep some food in my belly, and managed to find myself employment. But at the minute, Toronto's a ghost town. Not just Toronto, there's many businesses that are closed up in the majority of cash industry businesses now. The government were giving them 75% of the payroll as part of the assistance. This is the socialist communist takeover turning to a state system, right? But anyway, this stuff is very difficult, and not for everybody. I probably said a little bit too much about my personal situation for my own good, but I don't have any secrets really. If or not immigration SWAT teams are going to track me down as a result of this will remain to be seen. But yeah, something like getting a boat, I even thought about myself like getting to the tropics and just buying a camper van and just fucking be nomadic. And what better way to stay off the grid is to be constantly mobile, right? They can't find you if you don't stay in one place. But I've lived this way of life for over 12 years, and, you know, unfortunately I got myself into a little bit of trouble that alerted the systems to my present, and they fucking punished me good and proper for it. But yeah, a boat would be great. Go and live in international waters. We can fish, you can get yourself, you know, you can filtration systems where you can process salt water into drinkable water and things like that. But I would reluctantly, you know, and the worst thing about it is that I do have some inheritance to collect, which isn't going to be anytime soon. I've got to try and keep myself afloat for at least another 6 months before I can even hope of seeing what is known as probate finalized, and I can finally get get my inheritance funds and stuff that would be which would enable me to move to better parts, but I've got to fund I've got to keep myself alive for that much longer, and there was part of me that was under the impression that it was going to be a matter of weeks rather than months. I was led to believe that, which I thought for a little while that I might even escape I might have to experience part of the winter, but I might escape the entire winter, and I might be in somewhere warmer and more comfortable by the turn of the year. But unfortunately, I've got to try and fucking sit out another winter in Canada, which I never ever really wanted to be seeing one winter, and this is going to be my 10th. I did see it, Killer. Thank you, brother. Actually, and I kind of, those of you that know me, I'm not a fucking beggar. I don't, hey, please give me money. But at the minute, guys, I don't got income coming in. So I will pass around the tip jar before we do one last time. And again, thank you for that, Killer. That is really going to make a big difference this week, because as I said, I'm down to fucking 2 cigarettes, half a bag of dirty tobacco. So that will buy a little bit of smoke and things there. I used to play with guns. Devil. Join the Foreign Legion. Yeah, you don't want to go to the Foreign Legion. You have to learn French, and it's a very, very difficult. Like, they accept anyone in the French Foreign Legion, and if you really, really are desperate and on the run, they will take you in and harbour you, murderers, rapists, and all. But once you're kind of in, it's very, very difficult to get out. And also being a 50-year-old arthritic that is in desperate need of a new hip, and already has shrapnel wounds from an improvised explosive device, I don't think I'll be very suitable for military purposes. But as I said, guys, this is how I make a little bit of income now, is by the generosity of viewers who do throw a couple of bucks in my tip jar. I'm also not monetized. Again, if you monetize with YouTube, you have to have a partnership, you have to have a bank account, you have to give them all your details. They know exactly who you are. At the minute, they don't know who I am. I go by an alias or a pseudonym, which is actually an anagram of my real name. For those of you who ever heard of ducking and diving, jabbing and weaving, ducking out of, explain what ducking is, devils. What are we at? 1:55. So I'm going to wrap this up at the 2-hour mark, guys, but hopefully I've given you a little bit of information that may or not be of benefit for you. Maybe it was just a little way of spending a couple of hours not thinking about serious shit, and so hopefully that is a bit of a benefit. But I've had a good show tonight. I've enjoyed myself. I'm actually glad that I forced myself to finally press go live. We will try and go live again tomorrow. Hopefully I can get True Flicks, and he did want to get on the phone tonight. Unfortunately, due to technical difficulties, we did try and get him on the phone. You saw 4 or 5 times we couldn't hear him. Yeah, I got hit by shrapnel. I've got my PJs on, so I don't want to really get my legs out. Oh, good God. But I don't know if you can see or not. No, it's too dark. But I got a hole in my leg there where I got hit by a bit of shrapnel. Homemade firework blew up a few feet by my leg. I actually had the video. It'd take me some time to find it right now. But I do got a video of the explosion. It actually made national news here in Canada, and even made a little bit of international headlines. And it was an event that took place at a Toronto FC Ottawa Fury soccer match up in Ottawa, and it was the first time, due to crowd trouble, a sporting event had been stopped in Canadian history. And funny enough, when I did have to go to the hospital, they turned me away because I didn't have any status or social security number or social national insurance number, whatever it is here in Canada, in order to get your health coverage. And when I didn't have that, they said, yeah, you know what, you're probably better off just going home. I'm like, I can't go home. I've got a fucking hole in my leg. I'm losing blood, and I can't just get on a plane. for 20 hours to go back to England to get fucking treatment for this. So they did reluctantly just sew me up and give me a handful of painkillers, but other than that was all it needed. They told me I needed surgery to remove the shrapnel, which they didn't do, and that shrapnel is still in my leg. This time of year when it gets cold and damp, that is a motherfucker, I can tell you. Hopefully we will get a notification. So it is Tuesday today. I don't even know what days it is. I sort of toyed around with maybe doing weekend streams. I have toyed with the regular Tuesdays, which always was TSP. Tuesday was always the live day, the live show, or the day for the live show, and we used to go on at 10. TSP at 10 on a Tuesday, TTT. But as I said, today we went on late. My roommate's not here. I do have a little bit of luxury that I'm not bothering anybody in the immediate upstairs. There is somebody above, but we've got an apartment between, so hopefully that will doing things there. Petrogel, dug a hole in the earth. That does sound fun. Sometimes when I was in the States, I'd pour gasoline down gopher holes and then throw a marine flare in. That was great fun, especially when sometimes the gophers would shoot out the end. But that's because I was doing a little bit of maintenance on yard work for this former naval officer, and he hated gophers on his lawn, and that's what he taught me to do. That's what I did. Could imagine that might be similar to what you're talking about, devil speak. Look at that, guys. We did make it to the 2 hours. We're going to overrun a little bit, so I'm going to say goodnight to you, although I could go on talking a lot longer, but it is 3 o'clock in the morning right now. But thank you. Glad that you found the thrift store Devil Speak. You've been a wonderful contributor and guest in the store. Not guest, I don't really know if that's the right word, but you've been a good part of the crew tonight. So guys, who else we got watching? Killers here, ATN, Cali Ninja. My goodness, do you notice something? We're almost all boys. This never ever happens. Right, really? Normally there's always the girls here. This is about the only time I think I've done a live feed when we should have had a boys club. We should have talked about girls and stuff. Why stop? I don't know. Yeah, there are no girls. We did have Elmel and a couple of them. Oh, Warfist, are you a girl? Warfist sounds a little bit like a boy's name. Either that, I don't want to upset anybody. Please understand what I'm saying next is for humour and not offence. But I was going to say Warfist sounds like it might be a raving lesbian game. No. Anywhere, Gusset Girls. Please take no offence by that, Warfist. I do try to joke. When Sings a Lot is here, I sometimes joke about her giving dumpster tuggies in a school uniform. She doesn't do that, but it does make people laugh. Thanks for the lol, Warfist. You know what? Should we get the blowjob girl out again? Let's see if we can find blowjob girl. I was going to open with it and see if anybody actually thought it was going to be like, oh my God, he's getting a blowjob live on camera. Here she is again. See, and you have to kind of position her right. And if I kind of sit back like this. I could get Rubber Elmau out, but I don't know where she is right now. But, seriously, that's hilarious, right? Oh my God, sorry, hold on. There, she's gone. Anyway, ATN give me some happy laughing emojis. And seeing as Warfist is a lesbian, I'm guessing you're a lesbian, again, no offense if intended. You're kind of like one of the guys anyway. She likes tits and vaginas just like the rest of us. Anyway, we could get a little bit dark and disturbing and comical. I don't know if we should or not. What? They can't. It's nothing. It's a girl drinking out of a straw. But I think if I did possibly open the show with that, you know, because I can set it up ready to go. I could just be like, oh, sorry guys, you caught me too early. The intro ended before. And I wonder if anybody would actually think that it was real. I don't know. There's probably a couple of us out there that we could think that it would fall. I'm a man but lesbian. It's okay. I don't know. Stop confusing me, Warfist. It is 3 o'clock in the morning. But anyway, man, lesbian, that could work. That it would have been funny, right? I probably might try and do it at some point, because some of our viewers haven't seen these new. I only found them today. I'm like, wow, these actually are pretty cool. And the Prism app is actually a really good. I have a lot of fun with it. It does give me an awful lot of abilities to try and do a better live show than using the YouTube platform. The only thing that I don't like about it is I can't schedule live streams, although maybe it has had an update. That might be a possibility, because that's something that does give people a little bit of notifications. There ain't nothing worse than doing a live stream and again, that's why I have longer intros these days, because it gives people time to get notifications, see that it's on. There's nothing worse than kind of sitting there and it's zero viewers. I'm like, oh my god, nobody likes me anymore. We've got 10 people watching again now. Always when we get to wrap up towards the end, I don't know, I've lost direction again. But yeah, I probably should think about wrapping this up. We have gone well over the 2-hour mark. And before I do run out of things to say, although I probably wouldn't, I could talk indefinitely about a lot of random shit if we really need to. Leave them wanting more is what I'm trying to get at. Gusset bots, there might be gusset bots. I don't know. I kind of, when you said that, Killer, I kind of pictured Anika, Almau, and Darcy, but like the fembots in Austin Powers. Do you remember? They danced around and then they shot things out of their boobs. Some people would rather hear of, that's very poetic and profound. Like, if you put Confucius said, man, rather hear fat boy fart than pretty girl sing, people would believe Confucius said that. I don't know if they would or not, but in this day and age, anything's possible. Austin Powers. Know what I mean, Vern? Was that in Austin Powers? Know what I mean, Vern? There used to be a comic book in England called Viz that had a gangster called Vern, and he used to say that. Know what I mean, Vern? You'll never take me alive, you bastard coppers. He always used to get, like, that was the end of it, like he'd try and commit a crime and then the cops would come and, you never get me alive, you bastard coppers, and he'd have a sawn-off shotgun. But anyway, I'm going to try and wrap this up, guys, unless of course we do get some gusset girls that arrive in the next 2 minutes, which probably we won't. I don't know, it is late at night. Probably half of them have turned into pumpkins. Actually, I could have fucking comically hang on. Let's go to holidays. There's a floating pumpkin. Yeah, look at this. See, now I'm a pumpkin. But anyway, some of our viewers might have turned into pumpkins because it has gone midnight. Confucian said, if it smelled different in a crowded elevator to a midget. That works, I guess, if I read it right. It smells different in a crowded elevator. He who goes to sleep with itchy butt awakes with brilliant. This is some Alan Partridge type shenanigans. Give me your best made up Confucius saying. Confucius says 2020 is like tampon dipped in Tabasco. Think about that if you would. Or maybe even a sandpaper condom. Imagine if the sandpaper was on the inside. Ooh. Anyway, the pumpkin. That was yeah, fuck, I don't know. As I said, guys, I'm starting to lose a little bit of the plot now. It is 3 hours. I think I've done nearly, yeah, close to 7 hours total streaming today, which is quite a shock to the system, as I sort of spent like 17 days in solitary confinement, not really speaking to anyone. But you've been a great gang, a great crew, a great bunch to entertain, and we have had a really good couple of streams, to be quite honest with you. I enjoyed them immensely. I'm guessing you guys also enjoyed them because you're still here this amount of hours later, even if they weren't very structured or directional, and a bit here, a bit there, a bit all over the place. We had some humour, some information, some wild theories, a little bit of kind of prepping tips. We had a little look at the pantry, but anyway, Halloween or election, which is scary? What you should have said is, what's more real, Halloween or the election? I would have said Halloween, because as I said in the previous thing, the 2020 presidential election campaign, it's just Jerry Springer for people that think they're smart. As I said, if you put Jerry in the middle of the Biden and Trump, Jerry, you wouldn't know the difference. We will continue and pick up again. As I said, I've been down a rabbit hole on 1985. I've got some stuff to bring you on Monarch programming and MK Ultra program. Hopefully that might give you a little bit of understanding of what you're competing with on your social media, and understand that the threat we face isn't pathogens, it's not a virus, it's artificial intelligence. And people in masks, they don't know any different. They're the victims just like the people who don't wear masks. They're both being controlled and manipulated. The divide, the conquer. Embrace them. Embrace everyone. Be excellent to each other. The maskers aren't our enemy. The artificial intelligent algorithm is our enemy. On that note, guys, thanks for watching. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I got get my outro music in place. Have I got it there? Yes, I do. So anyway, guys, you know the drill. It's Shit Video Productions. It is TSP TV. Thanks for watching, guys. We will catch you in the next one. Until then, keep it thrifty and always remember, be excellent to one another.